I'm assuming that this is supposed to be pronounced boogeyman dreams. Lita sleeps with Ma and Pop. One night in how many? Hundreds? I get to sleep by myself. I should be nice and invite Ray off the floor, but he's burping from too much junk food. We sleep in a tiny dim square. Dark shadows, hidden feelings. I don't know why Ma babies Pop. He doesn't cough all the time, but still acts sick. I wish I could see where. Understand why. It'd make everything easier. If he had a cast, I'd write my name on it. Pop's wrong. The tower's falling means something, else the school wouldn't be teaching it. Think critically. Ben, Sabine, and me all felt something, but I think we all felt something different. Muslim terrorists. Was Sabine crying because she thought me and Ben would think less of her? Being Muslim doesn't make her less than. Sabine's the nicest girl I've ever met. I turn onto my side, facing the blank wall. Ben's drawings show what he's lost. I can't draw as well as him, but I'd draw circles. Me in one, my family in another. Our circles overlap just barely. Families can break. If I go to a new school, my circle of friends will break. I close my eyes. I'm so sad. Knowing what I know now, I wish I hadn't seen the video. I open my eyes. Is that true? I punch the pillow and pull the sheet up to my neck. Sleep, I tell myself, sleep. I'm in Ben's room, in front of his computer. I hear a whirring howl. Outside I see a plane. I scream, stop. But the huge silver plane, pointy like a bullet, keeps getting bigger and bigger, keeps flying toward and through the window into me. Sabine. It's in-service day. At the end of each month, Miss Garcia says teachers take a half day, talk, discuss what they can do better. They're still trying to teach us about 9/11, not directly, but coming at it sideways, up and down, around, not head-on, direct. Maybe that's what grown-ups do, how they protect us kids. Or maybe they're just too afraid to tell it like it was. Seeing the video, something shifted inside me. New York is my home, Sabine's too, but she lives in Park Slope. It's pretty, with flowering trees, potted daisies, and multi-story homes. We park in front of a house with 8 windows and billowing curtains. In real life, the brick house looks even better than Sabine's crayon and sparkly drawing. It's gorgeous. I breathe from the back seat of the SUV. Sabine grins. Thank you, says her mother, driving in the front seat. You know English? I clamp my hands over my mouth. Dumb, so dumb. The entire ride I didn't say a word to Sabine's mother, not even hello, thinking she only knew Turkish. Sabine giggles. I speak English, Turkish, and Arabic. In the rearview mirror, Sabine's mother glances at me. I think she might have winked. Mother makes me translate. It's good for Sabine. Keeps her language sharp. The dark flap covering her mouth flutters as she speaks. Deja, I can teach you Turkish. I feel shy. Lots of kids at my new school know other languages. I only know one. I start to feel I've made a terrible mistake. I invited myself to Sabine's house since I knew Ray and Lita would be in daycare. I didn't want to be home alone with Pop. He's been super irritable. Hoarse, he wheezes and coughs. Plus, I wanted to tell Sabine I know the difference between good and bad people. Terrorists shouldn't make her feel bad about herself. If I let them, lots of folks, like my ex-friend Keisha, would make me feel like a squashed bug. Sabine opens the car door, and we scoot out, following her mother's flowing black gown up the steps. Welcome, welcome. My father. He came home to meet you. Really? No more cavities to fill, trills Sabine. What? He's a dentist. Dark hair, lashes, and eyes. Sabine's father extends his hand. Mr. Demir. I act normal, like grown-ups shake my hand every day. Honored to meet Sabine's friend. Thanks. My tongue wipes my teeth. I've never been to a dentist. Shoes here, Deja. All types of shoes line the wall. Thick walking shoes, high tops, Sabine's brothers. Patent leather shoes, black loafers, gold-threaded slippers. I take my tennis shoes off, embarrassed. I don't have socks. I tug my pants down, trying to hide my toes. Grandmother, Sabine says. An old woman, slight in a silver gown with a loose scarf covering her head, shuffles forward. Her hair is like gray thread, her mouth soft, her face wrinkled and sweet. Everyone pauses, watching, waiting for her to speak. I tremble. Even Sabine waits. You are a lovely girl. Her palm touches my cheek. In the room, there's a kind of exhale. I get it. It was important that the grandmother like me. I feel like I passed the biggest test just by being me. Sabine swishes off her scarf, and waves of black hair cascade down. Hair thick like her father's. I wonder if Sabine's mother's hair is thick and dark. This is Uncle Ahmet, my father's brother. Ahmet is much skinnier and younger than Mr. Demir. He doesn't have a pot-belly. Uncle Ahmet is looking for a wife. Ahmet laughs. See, Deja, the girls and women in the house want another so they can outnumber the men. Me, my brother, and nephew. Right now, we're evenly balanced. What about the cat? I blurt. I remember seeing it in Sabine's picture. Smart, says Grandmother Demir. The cat is very good. She's had many kittens. What? Ahmet spreads his arms. I should have kittens? Everyone laughs, and I marvel at how easy they are together. No silences, whispers, or tight smiles. Lunch is ready, says Mrs. Demir. Mother and Grandmother made my favorite food, just for us. A party? Too bad Yusuf is in school, Sabine grins. I grin back. We're both happy our siblings aren't here. There's a huge wooden table, big enough to fit 8. We're dining traditional. Sabine points to the floor. A smaller, soft green rug lies atop the carpet. Flowers with red petals edge the rug, and in the center are dozens of white squares connected with red lines. I think it's too beautiful to eat on. I plop down. Me, Sabine, her uncle and father sit cross-legged on fluffy pillows with tassels. Grandmother and Mrs. Demir bring platters of food and a tray of bread. It's like an indoor picnic. Nothing like eating Kentucky Fried Chicken on the floor. Lamb, says Mrs. Demir, setting down meat pierced by silver daggers. Bulgur pilavi. Wheat, not rice. With parsley and green peppers. Lahmacun, like pizza, Sabine points. I see flaky crust with minced meat, onions, tomatoes, and lettuce. I look for a fork. Ekmek, bread, says Grandmother Demir. Use your bread and hands. Now I miss Ray. He'd like being messy, licking his fingers. There's more food, even enough maybe to feed 10 families in Avalon. I smell hot red pepper flakes, but the other smells are sharp and sweet, unlike anything I've ever smelled before. I've never had lamb. It tastes green, grassy, I think. This sounds bad, but tastes great. Mary had a little lamb keeps repeating in my head. Do you know what Sabine means? Asks Mr. Demir. Cool breeze of the morning. Sabine blushes. Her name fits, I think, touching one of Sabine's curls. Mr. Demir smiles. My family is my heart. Home is divine, I say, repeating Sabine. Her entire family beams. You'd be a good Muslim, says Mr. Demir. I blurt. I just want to be good. You are good. I look at my friend, then her grandmother, mother, uncle, and father. I don't tell them how I get angry at Pop, how I wish my family were like theirs, happy together, how I wish Pop worked and told jokes. They're all looking at me, not pitying, but a bit sad. I realize they all know about me. Homeless Deja. Mr. Demir says, You're our daughter's friend. You're always welcome in this house. Thanks. It's not home, but they've made me feel at home. Do you pray? No, just when Ma takes me to church. No one says anything. But I wish for things, I added hurriedly. What do you wish for now? Asked Ahmet. I wish I could have more shish kebab. Grandmother claps. Good appetite. Good girl. Thank you, Babani. I stuff myself, nibbling lamb off the long dagger. After dinner, everybody stays in the living room. There's no radio, no TV. The brothers talk. Grandmother and Mrs. Demir sew. Me and Sabine play checkers. So lame. Yet I like hearing adults murmuring, feeling the sun through the window, lying on my tummy on a soft carpet, worrying only about jumping checkers. Yusuf bursts through the front door. Deja, he yells, like he sees me every day. Adults crowd around him, hugging, asking, How was your day? Hungry? I sigh. Paradise. Divine. Without asking, Mrs. Demir hands me a basket. For your family. Next time we hope they'll all come. Really? I squawk, trying to envision the Barneses and Demirs sitting on pillows, chatting, eating with bread in hands. Mr. Demir drives me home. He pulls the SUV in front of Avalon, opens the passenger door like I'm a princess arriving at a palace. Nice to have met you. Scarf on, Sabine walks me to the door. Stragglers are standing, sitting on the steps. Curious, they quiet. Sabine doesn't make me feel embarrassed. Serious, she says, I knew you'd be a good friend. I wave as the car leaves. I clutch the food basket to my chest, hurrying down the steps to the left to daycare. Ray and Lita are going to be so happy when I tell them it's okay to eat with their hands, how Turkish food is the best, how even in America, folks can live different, Ben's ranch, Sabine's home, how even Brooklyn, one part to the next, is different. School. I can't believe it. Pop's walking me to school. I don't say anything. He doesn't either, just stare straight ahead. Crowds make him nervous. That's all New York is. Him and Ma should move. The walk sign brightens. Across from us, a rush of people walk, dodging, trying not to hit each other in the middle of the street. Pop clutches my hand like I'm two, but I'm the one pulling, leaving him through the intersection. Pop's going to embarrass me. I know it. At least he looks nice. He's wearing slacks, not jeans, a shirt with buttons. Dressing, I watched him open his suitcase. His back blocked me from seeing what's inside. He stood, staring down. He took something out, shut and locked the suitcase. A tie. A blue and red striped tie. It looks good. I didn't know Pop owned a tie. From the front, Brooklyn Collective Elementary is plain, all concrete. The back windows make it special, letting in light, not making you feel like you're in a tomb. I'm looking out for you, baby girl. Pop's expression is earnest, sweet. It feels good that Pop thinks he's looking out for me. About time. But this is the wrong time. I don't want to leave my school. Pop grunts. He never listens to me. We climb the school steps, push through the heavy doors. Color is everywhere. Sky blue and yellow walls, bulletin boards with white trim and gold letters, all shades of kids. The older ones, curious about Pop, wave. Hey, Deja. We go through there. Another door. In the stairwell, Pop stops, holding onto the handrail, leaning into the wall. Kids swarm around him. Sweat pops on his face. Pop, come on. He coughs a bit. His eyes are super dark, like Ray's eyes when he gets scared. How far? Second floor. Pop nods and takes a step, then another, and another. But it's like each step is swamp mud sucking him down, and he's got to lift extra hard to get to the next step. Homeroom is bustling. I'm going to miss it. Sabine waves. I'm going to miss her. Ben watches George doing a magic trick with cards. Stasia and Angel are comparing charm bracelets. I'm going to miss these kids, this school. I point. That's Miss Garcia. Pop's not paying attention. He's moving toward the windows, and I don't think he sees the kids, the desk, or Miss Garcia. He only sees the view across the river. Gently, his palms touch glass. He leans his forehead against the window. Miss Garcia clicks toward him. Sit, Deja. Sit, class. We'll begin shortly. Everyone except me goes to his or her desk and chair. Whisper, whisper, chatter, chatter, chatter. My fists ball. But my classmates are right. Pop is a spectacle. Miss Garcia speaks to Pop. No one can hear what she says. I can't even tell if Pop is answering back. He doesn't move. Doesn't even look at her. Miss Garcia hooks her arm around Pop's. She's leading him out the room. Michael, she calls, will you show Mr. Barnes the principal's office? He wants to speak with Principal Thompson. I can do it. Deja, you stay here. This week Michael is homeroom helper. He'll take good care of your father. Sure will, says Michael, promising. Mr. Barnes? Pop looks at him, but I don't think he sees him. Michael, just like Miss Garcia, hooks his arm around Pop's. Michael's thoughtful. He seems to know Pop's sick, not quite right. Kind, Michael leads him away. I'm going to hate leaving this school. All day I expect Pop to take me out of class, away from this school, but he doesn't. We switch classes, history, Mr. Schmidt. Any differences between the far past and the recent past, between older and more current American history? No one says anything. I raise my hand. Lots of differences. But it's not the differences that matter. It's what unites us, holds together our society. That's the question we answered. Good, good. He strokes his beard. Some histories repeat. Some events are unique. There is regional, statewide, and national history. We share all of it in common as Americans. Mr. Schmidt looks like Yoda. Short, squat, wrinkled. What little hair he has is gray, like Yoda. He sometimes says weird stuff. When asked a question, class, it's important to consider how it's framed. Sometimes a question is a door to another question, another way of seeing, understanding. Ben raises his hand but doesn't wait for Mr. Schmidt to point. Deja figured it out, told us to turn the question inside out. Did she now? Sabine jumps up. Ben typed an answer. Read it, Ben. Sabine and me push Ben toward the front of the room. Ben reads. American principles, freedom, democracy, and justice for all, withstand the test of time. History changes. Relationships between Americans change. But America's ideals remain strong or adapt and get stronger. Good, good. Well written. Excellent thinking, Deja. You challenged the context of my question. I puffed my chest, not minding that everyone is looking at me. Write for me, class. What does it mean to be an American? Why does history matter? Mr. Schmidt picks up a marker. Why is history, he writes, relevant, alive, personal? Being an American, by Deja Barnes. I used to think I was just me, Deja, but I am an American, connected to my school, my friends, my home. I am bigger and better than I thought I was. I am not alone. My family disappoints me, especially Pop. He wants to take me away from what connects me. But I think if I leave Brooklyn Collective Elementary, I will always be friends with Ben and Sabine, just like I will always be American. I stare at my words. America is my history, my story, not just homeless Deja. I don't know how yet, but the towers falling is my history too. My friend Ben showed me. My friend Sabine shared hurt, sadness. Sadness. That's not a sentence, I know. History is about feelings too. I'm happy I'm American, but sometimes American history isn't happy. I feel proud of my essay. The title is better, focused. It's not perfect. There's sentence fragments, lots. I didn't know I thought and felt what I wrote. Funny, looking at the words, I see me better. Deja, the original, the one and only. Pop still doesn't come. We do music, sing This Land Is Your Land. At my old school, we sang Pop. Besides the national anthem, I never knew so many songs were written about America. Mrs. Cohn says we're celebrating America. She's got a whole book of songs with the American flag and fireworks on the cover. In the afternoon we have science. Pop must have gone home. I feel better. But what if Pop is waiting for the next day or the next to take me away? Maybe he's already visiting other schools. Mrs. Davis, our science teacher, is showing a video. She talks as she lowers the blinds and turns off the lights. Images flicker on the screen. A man's deep voice booms. David and Nelson Rockefeller wanted to revitalize Lower Manhattan. The Port Authority of two states, New York and New Jersey, cooperated to build the World Trade Center, a complex of buildings that included the Twin Towers, then the two tallest buildings in America. Construction workers dig a hole. Groundbreaking began August 1966. The tall towers needed a strong foundation. Workers had to dig deep through silt to find firm soil. Men with yellow hats push, pull wheelbarrows, carry buckets. Trucks haul dirt and pour concrete while men hammer and weld. Layer by layer, a skeletal frame rises. As it grows, the men seem like acrobats, trapeze artists, balancing on beams, hands waving, guiding, positioning steel planks lifted by huge cranes. 60 people died building the Twin Towers. Architectural marvels that would forever symbolically represent the strength of America and its principles of democracy and capitalism. Amazing. I never thought how brave the people who built the Twin Towers had to be. Men working high in the sky on tiny platforms with no safety net to catch them. Skywalkers. Who knew? Were any of them alive to see the towers fall down? The North Tower of the World Trade Center was completed December 1970, and the South Tower was completed July 1971. Music swells, triumphant. The screen fades to black. Mrs. Davis turns on the lights. George and Angel pull up the blinds. We can see across the river. The skyline seems emptier than ever. Today we're going to do an exercise in building skyscrapers. What does it take to make a building tall, taller, tallest? Instead of metal, concrete, and glass, our materials are straws, pipe cleaners, and paper clips. Form groups of three. That's easy. Me, Ben, and Sabine. We sit in a small circle on the floor. Mrs. Davis hands us a bag of supplies. Each group has to build a skyscraper strong enough to support a golf ball. A golf ball? Asks Stasia. Ben takes a ball out of our supply bag. I've never seen a golf ball before. What do you do with it? Hit it with a club. Doesn't seem fun to me. Shh, says Mrs. Davis. Our experiment today will test how weight and foundation affect your mock skyscrapers. What are the key elements for building? Sabine raises her hand. Strong foundation. Good. What else? Beams, says Stasia. Something that makes the tower rise higher and higher. How are we supposed to do that? Straws are weak. Mandy bends a straw, blows air through it. Figure it out. Think like an engineer. Mrs. Davis stretches out the word engineer. A builder, like the men who designed the Twin Towers. Everyone gets to work, twisting, bending, trying to make straws stand on end. Ben picks up a pipe cleaner, a piece of wire with small fuzzy tufts. Sherlock Holmes cleaned his pipe with these, between smokes. I shiver. Sounds worse than cigarettes. Design first, says Sabine, clutching the pencil. Don't start with the materials. What do you mean? Like this, says Sabine, quickly sketching on the paper. She draws a wide base. That's why we've got paper and pencil. You can't just start building a building without thinking about it. Critically, says Ben Automatic. Yeah, I say. Thinking is being hammered into us. We're good at it, says Sabine, drawing more. All around us, skyscrapers are quivering, crashing. Little white balls roll on the floor. Ben rolls a ball back. There, says Sabine, sitting up. Our skyscraper is firm, supporting the golf ball. Sabine, the engineer. Who knew? We're proud of our fake skyscraper. Nervous, we wait to see if the ball falls. Others start over, rebuilding. 1,000,000, no, 1,000,000,000,000 golf balls wouldn't have crashed the real towers. Ben looks straight at Sabine. No, she answers, grim. You'll come to my house again, won't you, Sabine? And before Sabine can answer, he adds, Deja, my mom says come over whenever you want to. She likes Ray and Lita. We're a team, aren't we? Ben sounds desperate, like he really and truly needs us. Sitting on the floor with a fake skyscraper, none of us say anything about sitting in Ben's room, about terrorists or tears, or the fact that me and Ben know deep inside that Sabine isn't always happy. We have our secrets. We're a club. We all know what made the towers fall. Me and Sabine know about Ben hurting, missing his dad. Ben and Sabine know I act tough when I'm frustrated. We'd all be lonelier without each other. I'd be the loneliest of all. Mrs. Davis stoops, her flat shiny, her hands on her knees. She stares at our skyscraper. You've won, she says. See, class, says Mrs. Davis, pointing. A strong foundation supports everything. Skyscrapers, engineers' dreams. It's amazing what people can build. We three grin, happy. The bell rings. We retreat back to homeroom. Deja, your pop is waiting for you outside. He's been here all day? I ask. Yes. Am I leaving? Miss Garcia knows what I'm asking. Not now. At least I don't think so. Our principal is very good at explaining curriculum. Every generation has new things to learn. Like how the skyline changes? Miss Garcia gently squeezes my shoulder. We're all glad you're here, Deja. Principal Thompson wouldn't let you go without a fight. Neither would I. Thanks. I really, really mean it. I want to hug Miss Garcia, but I don't. Slowly, I stuff pencils, a notebook, into a plastic grocery bag. I'm not sure I want to go outside. Maybe Pop changed his mind. Maybe he's lost again, sick. Kids rush from the classroom. Ben and Sabine are dragging behind. Slinging his backpack over his shoulder, Ben draws close. Sabine does too, and out of the blue, she squeals like she's had the best idea ever. Turkish Delight! My mother makes the best Turkish Delight. What's Turkish Delight, I ask. Dessert, says Ben. Better than brownies? Much better, says Sabine. We'll save some from Ray and Lita. Have a party at my house. Or mine, says Sabine. My friends don't mind that I don't say or mine. This makes me feel better. I walk outside. Pop sits on the school steps, his elbows on his knees, his head in his hands. I tap his shoulder. Pop? Deja. He wipes his eyes and cheeks. I don't ask why Pop's been crying. He might lie, or worse, tell me the truth I'm not ready to hear. Like I'm leaving the school. Pop pulls me down onto the step. Never mind, kids are streaming past us. He hugs me. A rocking hug like he did when I was little, when I used to fit on his lap. They saw, Deja, Pop whimpers. They saw. Through the windows. Everybody saw. Who? Principal Thompson? Miss Garcia? Miss Garcia was a student, a 5th grader. Her mother, all the parents came to pick up their kids. How awful. Miss Garcia, as old as me, seeing the planes hit live. Days, weeks afterwards, there were ashes, paper bits from wallets, purses floating into the schoolyard. I tense. This is new information. Pop squeezes me so hard I think I might start gasping, coughing. Over his shoulder I see students so polite they waited until the street corner to stare back at me and Pop. I'm not mad. I'd stare too. Principal Thompson promised me you wouldn't see. No video, only photographs. Some things a child should never see. I don't tell Pop I've seen the video. I wish I hadn't. Still, in a few years, I'll be in high school. Shouldn't I know terrorists flew planes into the towers? When do kids get old enough? As far as I can tell, even Pop isn't old enough. I pull back. Pop's eyes are wet again. He rubs his head. Pop must have seen it. We've never had a computer. There are library computers, but Pop doesn't like crowds. He didn't say children shouldn't know about some things happening. He said children shouldn't see. How does he know about what was seen? It hits me. He was there. Before I was born, my world is shattered. My mind turns Pop's words inside out. Challenge ideas, assumptions, Mr. Smith said. History is relevant, alive, personal. How come I didn't know? Pop's history affects me. We'll read one more chapter. Suitcase. I spy on the suitcase. It moves. I never noticed before. Sometimes the suitcase is on its side, sometimes it's upright. Sometimes it's pushed beneath Pop and Ma's bed. Sometimes it's on the bedspread or tilted against a wall. Pop must be opening the suitcase. Not just getting ties, but maybe other things. Maybe he's looking in. At what? Except for one time, I've never seen Pop touch the suitcase. It just moves like magic. A beige case with a lock and handle and a thick dark stripe down the middle. I can't sleep. Lita curls up like a bird. I like listening to her breathing. I like how warm she feels. In the dark, dark room, I think about how much I love my family. Ray has got to get to kindergarten. Ma has got to get some rest. Pop needs to feel better and get a job. I hear squeaks. Someone's moving, not sleeping like me. I turn onto my stomach and peek above the pillow. I think it's Pop. His shadow is long as he pulls the suitcase from behind a box. He digs, grabs something from inside the box. He sits on the floor, leg splayed. The suitcase clicks. He's got a key. I hold my breath. Pop's lifting items from the suitcase. He's crying, pressing his hands against his mouth. I flinch. Even muffled, Pop's crying sounds wild. Last time I heard such a sound was when Mrs. Anderson's son got shot by a drive-by. She was in the street holding Eddie's body. If Pop dropped his hands, his cries would fill up the whole room, maybe even the building, the entire block. What happened to Pop? What was he doing when the towers fell? Was he there? What time is it?
It's 8:36.
Okay, one more chapter. Secrets. Saturday morning. Ma and Pop, Ray and Lita are going to the cafeteria. Pancakes. The only food Avalon cooks right. Though margarine and syrup help a lot. I'll catch up with you, I say, turning back to the room. I think the key is in the box. There's all kinds of junk inside it. Some belts, Pop's Yankees mug, some t-shirts and underwear. My fingers claw. Got it. A tiny key on a ring. Click. I snap the clasps, opening the suitcase. I exhale. All I see are work clothes. 3 white shirts, a couple khaki pants, and the tie folded neat and clean. Black sock balls pressed into the bottom corners. I feel disappointed. No super clue. I lift the stack of shirts. At the bottom is a photograph. Pop smiling with 3 guys. They're dressed in matching pants, shirts, and red and blue ties. Pop's looking straight at the camera, and he looks bright-eyed, mischievous like Ray. The guys have their arms wrapped about each other, holding tight like paper dolls. Beneath Pop's pants are sealed plastic bags. In one large bag is a walkie-talkie, melted on one side. Another bag has a flashlight, its glass cracked. Another bag contains a wallet, crusted with dust. The last bag is filled with I don't know what, lumps of black and gray waste. I start to close the suitcase, but I open it again and push my hand inside its top pouch. Another plastic bag. I'm trembling. A name tag. World Trade Center, James Barnes. I rush to put everything back in its place, snap the suitcase shut, settle the key at the bottom of Pop's box. I'm too stressed to think. I run to the cafeteria. What'd you forget? Asks Ma, sliding me a tray. I stuff pancakes into my mouth, almost gagging on the huge portion, the too sweet syrup. My head is aching. Tears are swimming in my eyes. Pop survived 9/11.